The Force-sensitive Anakin Skywalker was regarded as having the highest midichlorian count by the Jedi upon his induction into the Jedi Order, but with his great potential was an overconfidence and recklessness that served against him. On the planet of Geonosis, Anakin and his master Obi-Wan Kenobi had been pursuing the Separatist leader Count Dooku, eventually leading to a duel in the Sith's hangar. Anakin was too eager in going after the Sith and sustaining an injury to his right forearm. The soon-to-be Jedi Knight utilised his unrivalled determination to grow in power. In his subsequent duels with Dooku, Anakin began to improve his duelling abilities, firstly being able to absorb the Count's lightning attack and slowly using his power to get the upper hand on Dooku, with the final confrontation occurring during the Battle of Coruscant. The now established Jedi Knight and hero for the Galactic Republic flew through the chaos over his planet with his master to enter into General Grievous' flagship, the Invisible Hand, and making their way through to the observation spire, they are about to free the Chancellor from his shackles when Dooku entered with a pair of Super Battle Droids. As Dooku taunted the Jedi, Anakin remarked that his powers had doubled since their previous encounter, and the Jedi Knight was proved to be correct, with Dooku falling at his blade. But what if Anakin's powers had tripled instead of doubled? Would he have resisted the temptation to kill Dooku? Could the Jedi Council have made him a master? As you're going to find out, the multiplication of Anakin's power could have changed the outcome of the war. Aboard the ship of Admiral Yularen, the former Jedi Padawan Ahsoka Tano descended down the ramp with Bo-Katan and her Night Owls when she sensed an immensely powerful Force entity in the Force. Ahsoka soon realised that it was her master Anakin, and she soon asked if Obi-Wan had sensed a power surge. The Jedi Master had been so fixated on the war that he had not been aware of his Padawan, and he knew that Anakin was vulnerable to the temptations of the power of the Sith. As the alarms around the ship began to go off, Anakin and Obi-Wan parted ways with those aiming to capture Maul, and leapt into their starfighters. Anakin did not take the route that the Republic starfighters had carefully carved out for them, instead force pushing any droid tri-fighters and buzz droids away from his ship, then heading directly for the observation spire, where he sensed the Palpatine would be located. Obi-Wan could not catch up with the speed of Anakin, and using the route they had planned, the Jedi Master had entered into one of the lower hangar bays, then took a turbo lift to the observation deck. To his shock, neither Anakin nor Palpatine were in the large room, both of whom had already escaped to Coruscant, and Obi-Wan knew that he had to get off of the flagship as quickly as he could. Making a move to descend down the turbo lift, he is blocked by both Dooku and Grievous, and the Sith apprentice orders for the Jedi Master to hand over his lightsaber, preventing any more bloodshed. Obi-Wan had no intention of surrendering, and pushing the corpses of several Super Battle Droids right into the Separatists, he jumped down the shaft onto the bottom level, but he was stopped by the elevator ascending, and he rolled to the level of the bridge. Obi-Wan sprinted past the traps that had been deactivated by the number of strikes from the Republic ships, and gaining control of the ship, he pointed it down to Coruscant, not concerned that he only had half of a ship remaining. As it entered the atmosphere of the planet, the flames began to travel to the bridge, and Obi-Wan dived out of the window. He spotted a civilian ship and landed on its roof, then finally dropped to the ground. The Jedi Master immediately reports to the Council that Grievous and Dooku were missing from the crash landing, and the team of investigators and the Coruscant Underworld Police joined the Jedi in their search. The bodies of the Separatists are nowhere to be found, as they had in fact taken escape pods to another sector of the planet, regrouping with other members of the Separatist alliance. Dooku felt betrayed by Sidious, that he had not given him a sure road to safety, and upon finding the Sith Lord had returned to his office with the help of Anakin Skywalker, he ordered Dooku to head to Mandalore and deal with an old adversary, whilst Grievous was dispatched to Utapau to draw Obi-Wan away from Anakin. Dooku knew immediately that this was a trap from his master, but he decided that this was the most likely method of destroying the Sith, if he could communicate with the Jedi, and took his ship to the planet. Eventually hovering above Sundari, the Sith apprentice chanced upon a scene of chaos, with Maul's super commandos battling the Republic's 332nd Company and the Night Owls, and searching through the Force, he finally saw Ahsoka Tano in the palace throne room. The former Jedi Padawan was presently talking to Obi-Wan, and the Jedi Master ordered Ahsoka to turn and face Dooku, but to their surprise, he did not ignite his lightsaber. Looking at the hologram of Obi-Wan, he revealed the betrayal by his master aboard the Invisible Hand, and asked them to join him in helping to defeat the Sith. Obi-Wan could not sense any deception from Dooku, but he was still skeptical, and in a bid to prove his trust, Dooku decided to try and draw out Maul, hoping that his master had not caught on to his plans. That is it for part 1 of what if Anakin's powers had tripled since he last met Dooku. If you'd like to see a part 2 soon, please like this video, turn on that notification bell, click that subscribe button on this channel, as well as on my other channel What If Films. And as always, leave a comment on what if you'd all like to see next, and how I can improve my videos. Thank you all very much for watching, and see you next time.